And we are live. What's up, everyone? Just going to get things set up and we'll be ready to go. I do have a reason why this week's episode is today and not yesterday. Everything's okay. The delay for this, I can say, for those that might be aware, there's because of the Canadian wildfires, it is affecting New York. So the sky's like been interesting uh, with the wildfires and stuff, but it has nothing to do with why this week's episode is a day later. Uh, the reason is just for other reasons, but everything's all good. It's nothing of like medical or anything. I'll get into it once we get into the episode. I'm also back to using what's it called? I'm also back. I'm gonna be back to using my intro outro song again, so that will be back this week. I can say. And if you're in New York or an area that is affected by all of this chaos with the wildfires, I hope you are doing okay and stay safe. Especially if in Canada where all these fires are happening. But even in general, I hope you're doing well and stay safe. Let's see. Almost ready. Still just gotta get out a few more places. Um, Sorry about that. Um, that's now set up. Alrighty, let's begin. Oh, hold on. I always forget about this YouTube. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. On this week's episode, we've got MLB weekly recap and some stuff since last episode. Not every single game, but a few things here and there. We've got NBA Finals update and more. Let's get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 79 of Benny in the Booth podcast. Thank you so much for the support to this point. I very much do appreciate it. Sorry that this week's episode is coming out today instead of yesterday and a different time than usual, even on a day pushed off. I do have a reason. One thing I do want to show, actually. So I might have mentioned that I got this a while ago for my birthday, I'd gotten a present, and I'm going to get it to show you guys. And I finally was able to get it from Cleveland, where I'd gotten it, where I partially lived, to here. And it is basically a 3D replica of the Browns stadium. Now, as you can tell, it's not up to date on name because this was made, and I also bought this before they went back to Cleveland Browns Stadium. But this is like a 3D replica of it, and they have for a whole bunch of teams. I'm not sponsored by the company that makes this, but they have for a whole bunch of teams and a whole bunch of sports. If you're interested, it's like, I think the company's called For the Fans or something like that. And they make a whole bunch for a whole bunch of teams in different sports. Worth checking out if you're interested. But that's setup update I've got. Hold on 1 minute. I just gotta put this back. Ooh. So, why was I not able to do yesterday? So I was planning on recording this week's episode yesterday. However, basically, there's a content creator that myself and a friend of mine watch on YouTube who is one of, if not the best NFL/Packers content creators, named Tom Grossi, who is actually a New Yorker, but is a Packers fan who is a former comedian who's doing a 30 stadiums in 30 days tour of NFL stadiums. And right now he's in Philly. He's been doing it since May 31st. He's done a whole bunch of stadiums. He already did Cleveland. I was not there for that because I was actually in Connecticut for that. And he was coming to New York yesterday. And like, if in general, I realize I don't even have my mic plugged in. Whoops. Hold on. Stupid. No, not stupid. But that's annoying. So last second he comes out saying that because that there's like an Taylor Swift is coming to MetLife or something with Ed Sheeran or something, he wasn't doing a fan meetup, which he's been doing by all these stadiums and small businesses within cities or areas of these stadiums, meetups with fans of his. And he said the night before New York/New Jersey for MetLife that he was going to be doing a meetup in the city. Which once I saw that, being I'm not far, I don't live too far from the city, I'm like, and I have a friend who also watches this content creator a lot. Shout out if he's watching. And we were both like, if we gotta try to pull this off. And we ended up pulling off. And that is why I was not able to record this is one of the pictures we took together. If this is even going to focus. Yeah, there you go. He's a great content creator. He's on YouTube. Go check him out. I don't have it linked in the description. Just search up Tom Grossi. And actually could be do stuff with him in the future. I actually was talking to him about a possibility when I was speaking to him yesterday, and he said maybe. So we'll see what happens. But I'll keep you guys up to date. But that's all the non-episode stuff that we're here to talk about. But yeah, that is why this week's episode is today and not yesterday. And then, of course, it wasn't last week because between Jewish holiday and I was in Chicago last week, which I did catch a game, and I'll get to that in a moment. I was not able, plus Connecticut in the weekend, I was not able to do episode last week. So anyways, let's get right into this week's episode. So MLB, I'll just start off with the game I went to. May 30th, second to last day of May, I went to Cubs-Rays in Wrigley. And it was a heck of a game. First inning was an inning in its own. The Rays were coming off getting a one-hit shutout by Stroman, and immediately sent the message, yeah, that ain't happening tonight, or on this night. And the first inning, 2 outs, there was like first and second or second and third, something like that. Ground ball to Nico Horner playing second base, tries to flip it to Swanson. I think it was first and second now, I realize. But Swanson was not able to get it. And Franco tries going home from second to home, and Swanson makes a great throw to throw him out at home plate. They reviewed it for apparently the Rays thought for some reason there was a catcher's interference, but there was nowhere near a case for catcher's interference. Closer to out, but no, not catcher's interference. But anyways, it stood. And then bottom of the first, facing Shane McClanahan, who's basically Tampa's best pitcher, if not one of their best pitchers. Nico Horner just took the first pitch gone and made it 1-0 Cubs. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. It was not much of an offensive night. And then it was mostly quiet the rest through like fifth or sixth inning. And then, of course, Randy Rosarena with 2 on, 2 out tied the game because it's Randy Rosarena making it 1-1. And then later in the game, Ian Happ has a bloop double that Brandon Lau and Josh Lowe had no clear communication of who's catching the ball, and it just drops between them, and Happ is able to take advantage and get second. And then with 2 outs, former Yankee Mike Tauchman, yes, you heard me right, Mike Tauchman, the former Yankee and technically Giant, is now on the Cubs, had the go-ahead RBI single for the Cubs, and that would end up being the difference of the Cubs 1-2-1. It was weird seeing him in a Cubs uniform because, like, when you think of Mike Tauchman, you think Yankees. You don't think Giants. You don't think any other team. You just think Yankees. And just seeing him in a Cubs uniform was like, I mean, I was happy he did something. Don't get me wrong, but it's just kind of like funky. But anyways, the Cubs won the game. I went 2-1, and they took 2 out of 3 from Tampa at home overall in the series. They lost the finale 4-3. But yeah, I was able to go to that game. Fun, good game. Always good for me, like as a Cubs fan, when I get a chance to go back to Wrigley. No matter how many times I get to go a season, it's still always fun no matter what. And in general, always also being originally from Chicago, it's always fun to go back. No, never mind. I forgot what I was doing. But anyways, outside of that, so Liam Hendricks has officially come back from cancer. Had a decent start, decent first return back against the Angels, but overall is back. He actually just got his first save last night, but today's game is postponed because of the air in New York. Craig Kimbrell recorded his 400th save since last episode. Mike Soroka had his first start since August 3rd of 2020. He's been shaky so far, and I think he even got sent down recently. Lamont Wade Jr. hit a home run into McCovey Cove, which is like a ocean out and right that they have, which was the 100th splash home run, what they call it, into McCovey Cove in the whole. They have like 4. They've had 4 different names for this ballpark, so I'm going through all of them. Pac Bell or Pacific Bell, SBC, which is what is now AT&T, and Oracle Park history. It is rare that they get home runs into Covey Cove, but it is something because sometimes there are people that actually watch games in like kayaks in Covey Cove. But anyways, the White Sox and Tigers had a game where the White Sox won 2-1, where all runs were on wild pitches or passed ball. First time ever in the live ball era per Live Sports Bureau. Rangers had a 12-3 win over Seattle on Sunday that got Bruce Bochy career W as a manager, number 2,041, which is 10th all-time, passing Walter Alston. And then yesterday, Ellie De La Cruz, number 4 prospect in baseball, one of, if not the top prospect, probably top prospect for the Reds, finally got called up, which I was happy to see. He's had future star cards in the last 2 games have just been really lights out. And he had a pretty good debut. He had a double in his second at bat, had 2 walks, scored on the second walk, I believe, and struck out, which is not bad, honestly. Reds won the game 9-8 versus Dodgers. He's also the youngest Red to debut since Jay Bruce. So if anyone wants to feel old, since Jay Bruce, and that was a really long time ago. And that is the recap. So let's go through the standings currently, not including today's games, which there are some going on right now. There's some that are even postponed. But let's go through the standings at the current moment. Rays for the AL East, Rays in first place, ending at 44-19, ending on a 4-game win streak, followed by the Orioles at 37-23, ending on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Yankees at 36-26, ending on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Blue Jays at 34-28, ending on a 1-game win streak, followed by the Red Sox at 31-30, ending on a 1-game win streak. That is for the AL East. For the AL Central, the Twins in first place at 31-30, ending on a 3-game losing streak, followed by the Guardians at 27-33, ending on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Tigers at 26-33, ending on a 5-game losing streak, followed by the White Sox at 27-35, ending on a 4-game win streak, followed by the Royals at 18-43, ending on a 2-game losing streak. That is for the AL Central. For the AL West, Rangers in first place, at 40-20, ending on a 5-game win streak, followed by the Astros at 36-25, ending on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Angels at 32-30, ending on a 2-game win streak, followed by the Rangers at 30-30, ending on a 1-game win streak, followed by the A's at 13-50, ending on a 1-point run, a 5-game losing streak, ending on a 1-game win streak. Sad news that happened to the Rangers. That came out yesterday. Jacob deGrom is out for the year with Tommy John, which every Met fan in some ways has every right to just laugh at that, because a big part of why the Mets didn't bring him back and pay him the money is health. And the Rangers were oh, we don't care, we're going to pay him. And well, now his season's over because of Tommy John. And it's just kind of hilarious. I mean, it's worked out for the Rangers still because they're first place in the AL West, but it's just kind of hilarious. Alek Manoah has been struggling bad enough this year that he got demoted to rookie ball in Florida for the Blue Jays. And prior to looking at his stats, I didn't realize how bad he was. He's got over a 6 ERA, and I was like, yep, that's definitely worth a demotion. We'll see how long it takes for him to get back. But hopefully he gets better soon with numbers, because when he's good, when he's on his A game, he is lights out. But anyways, as for the AL, for the NL, starting with the NL East, Braves in first place on 36-24, ending on a 3-game win streak, followed by the Marlins at 34-28, ending on a 5-game win streak, followed by the Mets at 30-31, ending on a 4-game losing streak, followed by the Phillies at 29-32, ending on a 4-game win streak, followed by the Nationals at 25-35, ending on a 3-game losing streak, followed by, that's for the NL East. For the NL Central, Brewers in first place at 33-28, ending on a 1-game win streak, followed by the Pirates at 32-28, 1 point on a 6-game win streak, ending on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Reds at 28-33, 20 point we're on a 5-game win streak, ending on a 2-game win streak, followed by the Cubs at 26-34, ending on a 2-game losing streak, followed by the Cardinals at 25-37, ending on a 5-game losing streak. And then for the NL West, Diamondbacks in first place at 36-25, are on a 1 point on a 6-game win streak, ending on a 1-game win streak, followed by the Dodgers in 35-26, ending on a 3-game losing streak, followed by the Giants at 30-30, ending on a 1-game win streak, followed by the Padres in 20-33, ending on a 1-game losing streak, followed by the Rockies in 26-32, ending on a 2-game losing streak. I also want to bring up a point that I saw on YouTube of a content creator I like on and off that I watched, who's a Padres fan, and he came out with a video end of May, early June. And I want you guys to let me know if you agree with this guy. And already at this point, which we're not even at All-Star break, we're not even like in July, has come out and said Padres season is over. Not like, oh, they're in danger. Like, no. Padres season over from a Padres fan. I was like, huh? We're not even in July. And like, I get the Padres are struggling, and they definitely are. Their offense has been sputtering, and they're just barely putting up runs and stuff. But we're not even in July. Even with the Cubs in 2021, I could have said that, I guess, kind of in 2021 in June. I could have said that even last year. But no, it wasn't till, it's not, June is too soon to be saying that when you have that kind of talent pool. Cubs didn't have as much talent as the Padres did, per se, of what they have this year. But with what the Padres have at the current moment, you cannot be telling me the Padres season is over at this point. Too early, too soon. I'm sorry. You're a great content creator. I think it's Fanatic Fan on YouTube. He's pretty good in general. If you want to check him out on YouTube. He also has a podcast. I don't know the name of his podcast. Plus his podcasts are on YouTube. Yeah. So I just don't think it's early over just yet. Let me know what you think. Maybe you disagree with me and you agree with him. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm interested to hear what other people think on the matter, whether you're a Padres fan or not. And then for today's games, which a whole bunch have started, some have not. But there have been 2 games postponed because of the air. Philly, Detroit has been postponed, and White Sox, Yankees have been postponed tonight. Currently, Royals are beating the Marlins are beating the Royals 3-1 at home, top 4 with 1 out. Twins and Rays are scoreless, middle of the second, and then those are the games currently going on right now. No games are. Oh, sorry. There's 2 games final. The A's beat the Pirates 9-5, and the Mariners lost to the Padres 10-3. The rest of the games are getting ready to start or will be starting later. The rest of the schedule for tonight, Diamondbacks at Nationals at 7:05, Astros at Blue Jays at 7:07, Red Sox at Guardians at 7:10, Dodgers at Reds at 7:10, Mets at Braves at 7:20, Orioles at Brewers at 7:40, Cardinals at Rangers at 8:05, Giants at Rockies at 8:40, and Cubs and Angels at 9:38. That is it for a baseball part. Now let's get into the NBA. The Heat have advanced to the NBA Finals. I did come out with an immediate reaction after Game 7, and I'll even put it into summary, but go check it out on the YouTube channel. It's on my YouTube Shorts part of the channel. Go check it out. But after Game 6, where, let's put it this way, that tip-in by Derek White is one of, if not the luckiest tip-in shots in NBA history. I literally was thinking after that, I said, Game 7 in Boston, which is one of, if not the toughest environments to try to win a Game 7 of a series. I thought, game over, Miami's done, Boston's coming back. And Miami basically told me to take it and shove it up my tuchus because they ripped apart the Celtics and told the Celtics, you got to give yourself a reality check, basically, and advance the NBA Finals even after merely blowing a 3-0 series lead. NBA Finals so far is 1-1 going into Game 3 tonight. Game 1, Denver took 104-93, and Miami took Game 2 in a very close game, 111-108. The rest of the schedule for games are for sure, and games if necessary. Game 3 is tonight in Miami at 8:30 on 8 all at 8:30. Game 4 is on Friday at 8:30 in Miami. Game 5 would be in Denver on Monday. Game 6, if necessary, would be at 8:30 in Miami on Thursday, and Game 7, if necessary, would be on Sunday in Denver at 8. All the games are on ABC, no matter the date, and then location just varies on which game. But that is this week's episode of the podcast. So let's wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Benny in the Booth podcast. On next week's episode, we'll be back to MLB weekly recaps. We'll have NBA Finals update, whether it might be over by then or won't. Which, by the way, I think I have the Nuggets winning the Finals. By the way, I don't know about games, and whatever else could happen between now and then. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you are new on YouTube, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bar, so you're notified when I go live and or post a video. If you're new on audio, follow the podcast, leave a review, hit the notification bar, so you're notified when I post on there. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I will see you in next week's episode, episode 80. Bye-bye.